Here's a poem I wrote for my muse. This is part one. Fuck it, I'm gonna read all the ones I got so far. Dreams are full of half-truths, half-lies, and full stories. So where does this feeling come from, if it's not from the heavens? On first sight, feeling so silly, in and out of a rabbit hole, singing to the birds of unknown tastes and chirping tongues, a chorus for bugs to accompany me into the unmoving earth. A statue moved, making my eyes twitch with fever to touch. The best beginnings are usually silent, sometimes a feeling of disgust. No need to make a fool of myself, for I don't have to act. Sitting and listening to what chirps your mind while I work on my verse. In a back seat with a backseat lover and sheets of paper, busy writing poems to a non-existent girl, only seen in nightmares, ignoring the beauty in front of me, thinking she will never be real, for words held beauty in a showcase, never materializing, with no face but a grilling imagination to paint, raining on my dark mind, dreamscape scraping the hedges, lost in a sheet of paper, shoeless, heartless, and witless, when a radio station tunes in certain questions not asked, of the pentameter of my life in verse and stanzas. Ears are stringing and mouths working overtime for once. Could this be a woman beyond the grasp of my dreams? Where were you during the fall of communism and socialism? Do you remember when the great towers fell that morning? Touching your hand slightly, a heart beating on time. Freeing for once this chain over my chest with no locks. What never believed to be true was now happening. A knock on her door, a tap on her glass, wakening the shapes, opening the doors with smiles all around of love to come. Someone so strange, everyone taking advantage. What was special where there were no stars? This feeling of ugliness I saw in his face made me want to be part of his rushing blood. Took hold of his wheel when he wasn't looking. Saw his eyes in the mirror above the soul. How uninterested he was in hearing my voice. To what shadows must I lie with to get his attention? This once let me see dark eyes from a living mouth. Questioning a sentence, a verse from my youth, looking at me with smiles from past lives, his Roman mouth curled at the pronunciations of words and undertook of my Tennyson mind, of curtains and death, shadows and omens, how numbers mean so much in our aimless lives. Is this sacrifice necessary when speaking with him? Should I just tell him to touch my hand before the sun sets? My lips are cold in this frozen car of ours. How can I get your Latin lips moving for me? What poems should I recite as reciprocation? Hearing your words, thought of being before spoken. What words like in words you write for me? Tell me how much you love these brown eyes of mine. Write me how much you miss this long hair. Sing me a song of longing before I close my eyes. Play my breasts as a lyre this lively night. Tickle my lips once before I grow old. So it begins, this dialogue of love or love of dialogue between me and her in the back row of a movie theater as I place my hand on top of her small hand and whisper poems I've written since the days of my youth. She squeezes my hand, she squeezes my heart. Her breath is heavy with each verb I throw. With eyes closed, she opens her mouth slightly, waiting for me to take away her earthly breath. I see her lips and land in the airfield from above. To hear his words is to feel his heart. It beats like a river in a dense jungle hidden, rushing on between poisons and ugly fish. Swimming, I want his river to cleanse my soul tonight. Opening my mouth to drink in these phrases. Closing my eyes as if I, far off in the moon, waiting for a kiss is madness sometimes. Centuries pass before contact. People die before truths. Just kiss me before I go crazy in this heat. And the plane finally landed one sweet afternoon, when least expected, when hearts were broken, lips touched to start a fire that was already extinguished, bringing to life all desires brought to the front, touching his pack, touching her breast. The poem never ends. It has no beginning that one can easily read with glee. filled with sorrow, filled with tragedy. Oh, it's true love that can make distances seem a few moments away, but hearts beat in time with the fall of the sun.